Oh, hello. I didn't see you come in. Just let me put my human anatomy book away. If you're watching this video, it is very possible you might be a Cylon. It's possible you may have been a Cylon all along, or perhaps you have found out in the sleeper phase. Regardless though, we have a few simple ways you can deal with your new Cylon experience. The first step is don't panic. If you panic, the others will know you're a Cylon, then they'll probably put you in the brig. Being in the brig restricts you as a Cylon because you can no longer perform as many devious machinations as you were once designed to do. Now that you are calm and relaxed, you have to make sure that you do not do anything overt to show that you are in fact a Cylon. Don't put 4 cards into that skill check, they'll know it was you. But maybe try cackling a little less maniacally between turns. That is probably in your best interest. Very good, they're looking at your loyalty cards and now you're starting to call them a Cylon. Now you're getting it. Part 1. How to stop worrying and love the toasters. So if you found out you're a Cylon, and this could have happened from the beginning, you might have always been a Cylon, or you might have found out during a sleeper phase, it's okay. One thing you have to keep in mind though, don't start checking the rules. As soon as you start checking the rules, specifically the rules on how to be a Cylon, it's already too late, you've blown your cover. One of the most important things you can do as a Cylon is make very good use of your Cylon revealing action. You could potentially put a useful character for them into the brig, and then they will have trouble getting them out for quite some time. You might even blow up some of the ship. However, there's a few minor things that some people, their first time when they become a Cylon, they sort of forget, or they don't even know, and this is what we're going to explain to you. One of the trickiest things about being a Cylon is knowing how many skill cards to play in a skill check. Always remember that Destiny is your friend. The Destiny adds 2 skill cards that you can potentially use to mask your own. If you add 1 or 2 skill cards into a check, it's possible that Destiny may be on their side, but you're still not. As a Cylon, it's also your job to make sure that you are very good at subterfuge. This is of course if you want to make sure that you remain a secret Cylon agent for as long as possible. By using the art of subterfuge, you can fool the other players into believing that you are a human. We both know that you're not, though. If you're in a position of power, say if you are the president or the admiral of the fleet, you're in a very good position to waste resources and potentially screw over the players before they even have a chance to do anything to you. However, this is not subtle. If you're the admiral and you start blowing away all the nukes out in every single occurrence, they're gonna get suspicious of you real quick. Mind you, they'll be out of nukes for a lot longer. But seriously, you should waste them. If you are the president, make sure to use as many check the other loyalty cards as possible. If you know your loyalty as a Cylon, but you don't know what the other players are, it's possible there may be another Cylon among them, and you want to make sure that you don't screw them over too. Alternatively, someone else is going to be the president if you ever reveal, or if someone shows you up as being the Cylon. You want to make sure you get rid of all them check the loyalty cards as soon as possible, just in case there is another Cylon in your midst. Another common tactic of the Cylon player is to make sure that you use every opportunity to make bad decisions, but allow them to be justified. So if another player decides that something would be a good idea, and you know it is not going to be a good idea, jump on it, ride that decision, make it seem like it's the only possible outcome. But then in the end, when they have someone to blame, you can always go back to them. If you are sure that one of the other players is without a doubt 100% homegrown human, make sure that you can make that guy your fall guy, because if you can get all the humans against him, they're going to have a hard time recuperating from that. Now finally, the last important thing we're going to cover: when do I reveal that I'm a Cylon? Well, obviously you're going to want to reveal that you're a Cylon if you have no other options. Ideally, this game is based on deception and subterfuge. Having the paranoia of the other players not knowing who the Cylon is really what drives the game. By forcing them to make silly accusations and wasting all their time using cards to discover who's a Cylon and who's not, it really helps you in the long run, as a Cylon. Let's say that you've made a poor choice, and it's pretty obvious now that you're a Cylon. Now's a good time to reveal as any. However, never give up hope. If the players know that you're a Cylon, and you know that you're a Cylon, and everybody knows you're a Cylon, still try to push out that last little glimmer on all the turns leading up to yours. Because remember, only you can reveal you're a Cylon, and only on your turn. On everybody's turn leading up to yours, make sure to make the game the hardest possible. This is going to be your last chance to actually get out those little picks on the skill tests and stuff like that. Wasting resources is always a good idea. Another good opportunity to reveal that you're a Cylon is when you play the long game Cylon. This is the Cylon that is always trying to make sure that everybody thinks he's not a Cylon. They've thrown you in the brig, but they need you. They need you for a specific thing that's happening. A crisis is going on. They can't do anything without you. You gotta convince them to let you out of the brig. Once they've spent all their skill cards trying to get you out, you take your turn, and boom! You're a Silon. This may not be the most strategically sound way about this, but it's pretty satisfying. Part 2. Much ado about revealing. First off, when you reveal that you're a Cylon, if you're in the brig, you don't get to use your special power. That kind of sucks. That's why you want to make sure you try to get out of the brig beforehand. Aside from that though, if you're not in the brig, you get to use your special power. Next off, discard your skill cards. As a Cylon, you can only take so much with you when you go to the resurrection ship. Keep 3 skill cards, throw the rest out. That's all you're going to get. Sorry, son. Next, make sure you give away any of those human titles that you have. This is the President or the Admiral. You can't keep those as Cylons. Sorry. Next, this is the great part. You get to go to the Cylon resurrection ship. It's wonderful. You'll enjoy it. It's like a pleasure cruise, a leisure cruise. You get to see a nice view of post-apocalyptic Caprica. It's actually probably not as good as it sounds. But you get to get a Super Crisis card, my friend. So after you've settled yourself on the Cylon resurrection ship, you have your Super Crisis card in hand, it's time to end your turn. It's probably been a long day for you, and if you followed our simple steps, they're probably really screwed over now. Death to humans. Part 3. So they know you're a Cylon. After you've revealed yourself and you've settled yourself on the Cylon base stars, your turn functions a little bit differently from them humans now. First off, on your turn, you only get 2 skill cards. However, they can be any ones. Your character sheet really doesn't matter anymore, because most of this is just human stuff. On the run of your turn, you can actually only move to other Cylon locations, so you're only going to be in the 4 locations for the rest of the game. And you can actually only take actions that are on those locations. Again, you can't take your individual player actions, and you also can't use any actions off the skill cards. Again, these are mostly beneficial to human players, and who cares about them anymore? At the end of a turn, you don't resolve a crisis card like you normally would have before. There's actually an action you can take where you can choose one of 2 different crisis cards off the top of the deck, or play your Super Crisis card, and that's a good one. However, on other players' turns, and even on your own, if you play a crisis card that actually has a skill check, keep in mind you can actually only play 1 card now into that skill check, ever. That's all you're ever going to get anymore. Make sure you're contributing at least 1 skill card per skill check. It's probably for the best, because you don't want those humans to win. Because remember, you only win when they lose. I hope you've enjoyed this video that we've made for educational purposes. Hopefully this brings up your potential as a Cylon. I think that you'll be very formidable against those humans. Death to all humans. Seriously, they deserve to die.